person keeps wisdom in view, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. A foolish son brings grief to his father, and bitterness to the mother who bore him. God and Jerusalem in the sky. If imposing a fine on the innocent is not good, surely to flog honest officials is not right. Obviously, persecuting me for being honest is not right. 27, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered. Jesus and the moneylenders, who, when, where, how, why. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Obviously, put a lamp on its stand for all to see, not under a bushel, under a bowl. Remember, they're changing my voice. I had to add the last part of Proverbs 17 to the beginning of this video, so let's go through this pretty quickly. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrel. It is selfish for attractive women to consider their despicable, petty needs and their ill-gotten family or whatever they're worried about. Okay? People who are unredeemed. If God has condemned them to hell according to their own religions and their own scale, why the heck should they put that before God and Christ come back? So they are unfriendly to God, they are selfish, and they start a quarrel against all sound judgment. When you have no viable counter-argument, then your judgment is not sound. 2, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. Okay? They don't understand what the top martial artists ever understand. Son of two doctors want a brain surgeon. Using their own scale, I'm far more wise and intelligent than they are. Einstein looks like a dumb fuck compared to me, a done unfocused, unkempt piece of shit who's not sabotaged, who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, may as well have a drool fucking cup. Him and Tesla, holding each other's dicks in the woods. Okay? They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. When wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes reproach. Who among you thinks I'm wrong for having contempt for their pathetic behavior? Contempt for the devil. Rebuking him. With shame comes reproach. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Remember the Bible also says, in the Lord's hand the king's heart is a stream of water that he channels to those who please him. You people are in rebellion at the most important time in history. How punished do you think you and your offspring should be when 2 rebels have a kid with no possible redeemer in the future? How punished should they be for being rebels and for having those kids? How petty and selfish is that? How despicably selfish and narcissistic and hedonistic is that? Just cowards. Newsflash, you fucking punks. You die anyway. And you're selfish scum, but you're too stupid to put your souls over your flesh. Just fucking failures. It is not good to be partial to the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. It is not good to date the bootlicking corporate worms or whatever other type of punks you people date, and to deprive me of romantic justice, and deprive any person trying to actually find God of the justice of them knowing that I am the gate. Okay? People on this planet have failed more than any other group in history, more than the Nazis, the communists, you name it. They failed more than any other group in history. And they have no viable counterargument. The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. Okay, should people get lashed and thrown in prison and beat up once in a while? You betcha. If the actions of fools invite a beating, how much more during the most important time in history, when they're shunning the most righteous guy ever and persecuting him, and they're parts of the cultures that persecute him. You people deserve to get beat down forever while you burn. And your offspring. Because what kind of monsters do 2 monsters at the most despicable point in history, in their family's history, when they betray God's son, come back, the top martial arts ever, what kind of abominations are your offsprings going to be? With no redeemer. And many of you are in secret societies in the church, and you know that you're Satanists. You know there's going to be no redeemer. And you're like, I'm going to have a kid. What the hell are you people thinking? Anyway. The mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. The actions, the mouths, the lips. Why do you think they said it like that? The actions. Can't stress that enough. Whenever you see that, the mouths, the lips, the words, first and foremost, it's the actions. The lip service means little to nothing. The actions. They're a snare to their very souls, and they make their lives pathetic. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. Actions-based gossip as well. One who slackens his work is brother to one who destroys. So when you're slacking your work, you're brother to one who destroys. Okay? And a few verses before that, it says, it's not good to be partial to the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. Okay? When you're slack as attractive women and not presenting yourselves to me in submission, making it clear that that's what's going on, then you're depriving the innocent, the only innocent person on the planet, of romantic justice and other forms of justice that comes with your assistance. You are brother, you are sister to the devil. You are devils. You and your devilish offspring. The only chance they have is for you to obey God through me. Let's keep going. I'm running out of time here. In the name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. Notice when I bring this up, no one can say I'm the top martial artist ever. God made me the top martial artist ever. I obey God to a T. What the hell can you say? I'm the king. What can you say? I'm in the tower of God. What can you say? It's over. I have the high ground. You're punked. You're defeated. You're crushed. You're trampled. You're whining ass Bill Haas trying to sign up on him type of bitch. I win. Anyway, the wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. Silly, silly, silly. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Okay, for them to say, ew, a black guy, okay, before they hear out Christ as a mulatto is folly and shame. The human spirit can endure in sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? So again, see, it overkills that heartache crushes the spirit, and it says don't do it, it says don't do it, it says don't do it to the king especially, over and over and over again in Proverbs, is to understand the other books of the Bible. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. Matthew 6:33, remember, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness. 16, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. 17, in a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right until someone comes forward and cross-examines. They say, my pastor seems right, but he's part of a movement to suppress me because I proved them wrong. I proved them all wrong. Okay? And they're giving gifts to the devil instead of presenting themselves into submission to me, God's Son. Okay, where are we going? 18. Casting lots settles disputes and keeps strong opponents apart. Not that you should do it. There's a long story of what this saying means. It's not really worth exploring because it's just confusing more than it is revealing. A brother wronged is more yielding. Of course, it has implications on Christ being crucified and the casting lots for his robe and so on and so forth. Anyway, a brother wronged is more yielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. So once they've done me wrong again and again my whole life, okay, I'm more unyielding than a fortified city, and people are damned into hell. Barred gates of a citadel. Citadel just happens to rhyme with hell, and site deal, city deal, and so on and so forth. City day, El meaning Lord, and not the despicable Canaanite deity El, where we get the word devil, dev El, and settle, set El. Okay, the king is not supposed to settle. Only a dumbass thinks that's the case. That's why it's called Set, the devil himself, who's the Egyptian equivalent of Baal and Zeus. Okay, and El, the Canaanite deity, the Sodomite deity, the nerd sort of deity. Okay, where the heathen calls it Elohim. Okay, and he gets from that is the family of the nerd demon deity El. Canaanite, Phoenician, Sodomite system. All right. From the fruit of their mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. By their actions. See, I always bring up my top martial arts challenge, my years of moral precision, my years of arguing moral precision. I'm satisfied that my life is great because it's moving in moral precision with focused moral intensity, even after all these years of sabotage. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Actions determine whether one goes to heaven or not. Also, words can be a part of one's actions. For instance, I do in marriage, and I submit to the king, and so on and so forth. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. See, notice it brings this up. So somebody might say, it has nothing to do with romantic justice, but it goes over and over. Proverbs, in a nutshell, is about morals. It's about romantic justice. It's about the divine order. It's about no ill-gotten gains. These are some of the key core points of Proverbs. Okay? Again, he who finds a wife, a true wife, right? A wife of noble character, Proverbs 31, a prudent wife, diligent, so on and so forth. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. The poor plead for mercy, and the rich answer harshly. That's the next verse. So it's saying, don't marry the rich because they answer the poor harshly by their actions. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. This can have applications for God, for Christ, me, and also has applications for marriage in the divine order. Thank you.